How long have you been thinking about that? It feels like somewhat premeditated.
Literally half a second.
So you're saying the dad jokes are strong with you today?
As they should be.
As they should be. That's why you're really here, guys.
Yes. Welcome back, guys. Today we're doing non-Trek Star Trek stuff things. What? That's what I said. We're doing Lost in Space today. Because when you get a certain tier and you join the channel, you get to select one live a month. And I know that the person was, well, it was Olivia is the one that requested this one. President Olivia. She's been president for a while, but we were doing Discovery and stuff, so we found it hard to kind of squeak, and she didn't really ask until Discovery was done. So,
which is very nice. But yeah, and now we're right. And considering Discovery just finished, we just finished our content on it. We're really right on the ball in terms of our ability to do. As you know, Stuart, we had quite a big meeting today. Like, we're on the ball. We've now reset. We're now out of Discovery formally. I guess our Trek Culture podcast is kind of like our last foray into talking about it in any sort of big way.
Yeah, and apparently Ozzy's having trouble sending super chats, which is weird. Because we got one from OG Gaming. OJ Gaming.
Me?
I hate that it's OJ and not OG. It should be OG. Original Gangsta Gaming. But anyway, it's OJ Gaming, $5. This episode is brought to you by OJ Gaming, my newest gaming channel. I stream American Truck Simulator, Star Trek, Bridge Crew, and more. Yeah, Olivia started her own YouTube gaming channel.
Goodness.
Go subscribe. Go watch. Wow. She does. She's joined us. She's joined me and the Bridge crew for Bridge Crew before. The Bridge Crew for Bridge Crew before. Anyway, so yeah, go watch the channel.
Oh.
Do it.
Awesome. Good pimp. Good pimping that.
And she also puts in $5 under her Olivia's account. It is a happy day today. The puggy saw her shadow. That's right, 6 more weeks of puggy cuteness.
76.
Hopefully longer than longer than that.
Quite a dark comment, really, isn't it? And this is Jericho. Thanks for thinking of us anyway. Thanks for thinking of us. But Stuart, I will start sharing and see who will join us for this bit of a random chat.
Do it.
Random chat's gonna be good. So I'll see you in a minute.
Right. Yes. Good. Yeah, guys. So today we're going to be talking about the 2018 Lost in Space series. There's only been 2 seasons so far. Season 3 is filmed and in the can. They just need to finish the special effects. It'll be out later this year, I believe. Season 4. So, good thing they knew that they were at the last season, and they actually had a chance to wrap it up. So that's good. Yeah, this is available on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. 2018 Lost in Space. So I don't know who has seen it, who hasn't seen it. I assume if you haven't seen it, you won't be here. A few people were interested to hear our thoughts on this, so hopefully we do get some people in here. If you can support the channel, like Olivia has been doing, she's joined the channel, but also she's put in a few super chats. If you can super chat your comment, question, thoughts about this series, by all means, please consider doing so. We'd really like to hear them, and help contribute to the show. It's a really big show. Plus, think about joining the channel as well. The join button down there. Make sure you're subscribed, obviously, and don't forget to click all the links to all the very cool stuff down there. You can save some money on Eagle Moss ships. Head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. You can help us on a monthly basis, much like the join button. And I got to thank Olivia and all the other people that have joined the channel at the different ranks and tiers, because that really means a lot to us and helps us on a monthly basis. So it is pretty awesome. So thank you so much for all your support. And yeah, so wait, what about season 4? Season 4 they're not doing a season 4, Paul. They only had 1 more season to go. Season 3, and I just heard today, actually, when I was looking into a few things, that they're actually filmed season 3 and it's done. So they just got to work on the finishing up post editing, whatever they do. I don't know. Yeah. So unfortunately, it's a bit of a shame, because this is actually a really great series, and yeah, one more season. But as I said, looking around today, I found out that it is filmed. It is done. It's in post-production, so it might be out later this year on Netflix. So, yeah. It's a bit of a shame, but at least they knew they only had one season left, so they could wrap it up.
And that's the
and
curse
it wasn't
of
just
Netflix.
Unceremoniously dropped. Yeah.
But it's their 4th or 5th show that Netflix dropped after 3 seasons. But it was one of the most expensive series, so
Yeah.
you know, and it's only going to get more expensive each season because all the cast ask for more, and because each season takes more than a year to make because of every reason. The kid looked distinctly older between seasons 1 and 2. He's going to look much older in season 3, and so unless you have an actual time jump, which will hurt the plot, like it's a show that was kind of you had to film it now, or limited run.
Yeah.
Or not care and just keep doing it because I quite like the show, but it's very expensive.
Yeah. Maybe there will be a spin-off series called Found in Space. Yes, that would work.
It's the average life of just an average guy on a space colony. It's like yeah. Just the average. Oh, it's The Office in Space. There you go.
It could just okay, or it could just be literally a series about things that people find in space. I found this batleth. It looks kind of funny. It's got a weird thing on it. It's not like a normal batleth. I found just floating in space. You know,
just make sure it comes with a battery.
Yeah, I found this astronaut with a big hole in his helmet just tumbling through space.
Yes.
Don't know what movie that was from, but you know.
So Stuart, let's do some backstory. What we know about the franchise, because this is the 3rd reboot, or I guess 2nd reboot, the 3rd version of this. What's your history with the franchise?
Yeah. Well, it's the 2nd television series, but yeah, the 3rd reboot. Yeah, so originally back in the 60s, there was the original Lost in Space, which I never watched. I might have seen an episode or 2 when I was younger, when it was on, but in syndication or whatever, but never really watched it. But my history with it is I was a big fan, actually, when the movie Lost in Space came out, with Matthew Perry and Heather Graham and Mimi Rogers, like great cast. When it came out, I really enjoyed that movie. I got like a lot of the toys from it. I got a bunch of the robots toys from it. And I thought it was great because even though like it's a guilty pleasure movie for me because it's not the best movie. Like the first half is really fun and action packed. The last half is kind of sluggish and boring. But
sluggish, more like spiderish.
Spiderish. Ooh. See what you did there. So yeah, it's a fun little movie for me. And hey, it is. You don't know. Yeah, with Mimi Rogers, I guess it's not really little. She's kind of no, but so guilty pleasure movie for me, and I really enjoyed the fact that when they launched the Jupiter 2 in that movie, the shell of the ship was like the original design, which is like a very 1960s, obviously, flying saucer type deal. And then that was just the launch shell that broke away, and you see the new ship come out. Very great way to kind of pay homage to the original. So yeah, kind of liked that movie. Was always afraid to admit it to people over the years, because everybody's like, it's such a bad movie. And
Stuart,
sure,
you have no taste, clearly.
This is very true. I do hang out with you, so. But
See, I was thinking Discovery, and you went straight to that instead. Gosh, that's whoo.
Well, then there was this show that came out, and I heard about it on Netflix, and some people had watched it. Instead of asked me if I'd seen it, I'd said no, because I really wasn't interested.
I told you several times.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be good, and then you said, yeah, you know, you should watch it. It's good. I've enjoyed it, so I'm like, okay, well. Then it kind of just dropped off. I didn't think about it, and one night I was sitting at home, just bored. Which I shouldn't be because I got lots to watch, but scrolling through and I saw Lost in Space. I'm like, okay, I'll check out the first episode, and hooked right away. Like this show, I think was so well done. So that's kind of my history with it. And then I binged it over the course of like 2 weeks. Did like 3, sometimes 4 episodes a night. But yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and buy the Blu-ray for the movie right now on eBay.
Do it.
Yeah.
I have it upstairs. I don't have the Blu-ray. I got a DVD, but.
Yeah, because I haven't got it. I'd like it.
Yeah.
So obviously the it's one of those things where I was younger, obviously, which sometimes, depending on who you are, you say, oh, that was before your time, you haven't seen it. But obviously, if something's a classic, or if your parents liked a thing, that, how'd I watch Red Dwarf if it was 15 years before, or 7 years? So just because it was older than me doesn't mean I haven't seen it, But Lost in Space was never something in this house, ever. And I think, we looked at the Jupiter 2 original one, and I, gave it the honest review it deserved, which was it's a flying saucer with cardboard inside, in a sense. Whereas Star Trek had all of the high-budget cleverness. Lost in Space is sort of the TV show. Again, I have not seen it, but I've seen clips of it. Symbolizes the hokey, cheap-looking, but like quaint, and it's a very specific thing. But you have to be in on the joke, almost in on the vibe. Whereas Star Trek, you can still watch a contemporary TV show that looks a bit odd, So I've never been. When do you ever think I'm gonna go back and watch a poorly dated show, etc.? The movie I watched, not knowing there was a Remaster TV show at the time, I think the movie's pretty damn good, considering. The CGI is very ambitious for the time, especially. Yeah, the first half's great. Like, it's so creative, and considering how simple the show is, they've got, like, time travel and aliens and all these complicated things in the movie. They're like, oh my god, where does this come from? Wow, okay. And then that movie, one of the few things that ever gave me nightmares, was the ending with the bug. First time I watched it, it was genuinely scary and creepy. Just the practical effects and CG was very well done. And it's one of the few, so it holds a special place for me for that. The TV show, I watched it out of vague curiosity, more like we wanted to watch something, me and Marie, and we binged the entire thing in like 4 days. It's the first one, as we'll get into episodes, but the first episode I think is a little harder to get into, but it leaves you with a grey ending as far as I remember too. You need, it takes a lot to get into, but once you're at the end, you're like, yeah, let's watch part 2 or episode 2. And then like, yeah, sold. So that little hump, there's a lot, they throw a lot at you, and then they simplify and they throw a lot more at you. It's a very interesting show, and the CGI is just absolutely incredible. Because that was coming out at the same time as Discovery, or even after Discovery, and I was thinking, I said to you all the time, like, this looks like this, Discovery looks like this. How the hell? That's how CGI should look. Yeah. So it was shocking. Because this stuff will hold up for a long time, CG in this show. Exceptional stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because this show was kind of a departure from the original concept a little bit, because it was Lost in Space. It was just them. The family was lost, and even the movie, same thing. They go through the gate and get thrown. They don't know where they are. This is different with the big ship with all the different Jupiters on it. And that was one of the things I didn't really enjoy about this series, was the fact that there were other Jupiters and other people around.
And can we just clarify, because season 1, season 2 are so different in the context of season, because that especially is a season 1, season 2 specific. Do you mean just in the context of the season 1, how you're introduced to it?
Like, what do you mean exactly?
Well, in season 2, it factors in hugely. In season 1, it factors in smallly. So, whereas you might have liked it in season 2 because of it's a different season. Whereas, you mean the concept you didn't like, which is obviously a season 1 concept.
Well, okay, yeah, both seasons are definitely different and unique. But season 1, just having other Jupiters on the planet was a little bit like, there's like a colony now. Like, there's a small collection of people. The way they worked it in was very interesting and kind of made it made it something that was more engaging, I guess. But when I first was like, there's other Jupiters around, what the hell? Like, this is just it's not gonna be the show I expected unless everybody else gets killed. But no, it's very interesting. The whole principle, the way they've kind of changed things around, I think is really great. So
some super chats, and I'll jump in.
That's
a
lot of super chats.
Excellent. Guys, show your support.
Hellrats 96, $5.
Thank you.
I like it for what it is. I still prefer the classic robot or even the one from the movie, especially his voice. Yeah, the robot's an interesting character, which we'll talk about, because it's totally different, used in this series, used totally differently than any of the other iterations. And I got the original robots, 2 of them up there. Nice. I've got 3 or 4 of the toys from the movie. I do like the robot, no matter what. So
yeah, it's super deliberate, which is important. The why the robot's so different, because there's reboot and there's we went a creative vibe, and that's this one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Jarzy at $2. I found this Tesla Roadster just floating around. Found in space. Yeah, no shit. Olivia Julius, $5. What did you think of the Resolute? Maybe a Fleet Yards episode on it. Definitely worthy of a Fleet Yards episode. So is the new Jupiter too. Very interesting ships, both of them, and the Resolute does play a huge part of season 2. So yeah, it's one we might consider doing. So. Hellrats 96, $5. The movie effects for the time were not ready for Space Ape, but that Lacey Chabert sure grew up pretty. Yeah, for the movie he's talking about the monkey thing, which was actually a monkey in the first series, and the second one was the CG thing, and doesn't appear at all in the third series, which we're talking about today.
Well, it was such a non-end like.
Not sure I understand.
Well, neither did we. It's like
exactly, Siri.
It's like it's an unnecessary element. Like it was just to give the girl something to do. It was because it was in the first one rather than for a specific creative reason. Yeah. And it cost money, but we'll get into that. Well, we may or may not get into. But yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about the film quite a bit as well during this discussion, just comparing characters and stuff. But just the casting. The casting and characters for both the film and this one were fantastically done. I think.
Except the dad in the movie.
Really? You didn't like him?
Well, he's dull. There's nothing to him. You could replace him with any man and he'd be the exact same. Everyone else in that movie has a personality. He is anybody.
True. For the record, though, Gary Oldman is a better Dr. Smith than this bitch that they have. I hate her, but that's the point. I know.
That's the whole point. That's a whole discussion, because I watched you do that live and I responded, as you know. But what's interesting about the middle Dr. Smith is that he has the camp of the first one, but has a lot more depth, I feel like. Whereas this new one loses all the camp, adds all the depth, but then...
It takes away all the Dr. Smith-ness, because it's not Dr. Smith. It's...
Well, and she literally isn't Dr. Smith. That's kind of one of the jokes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which was a great reveal. I thought that was actually really... Anyway, we'll get into that.
Yeah. Ian Smith, $10. Evening, guys.
Thank you. Awesome.
Enjoying this series. Love the movie as well, Stuart. Definitely a guilty pleasure. Mixed feelings about the robot at first. It's grown on me now. Thoughts? Yeah, the robot in this one, like we said, is totally different than the other two iterations of the show. And at first, I was kind of turned off by that a little bit.
The robot turned you off?
Well, I know it's usually not the thing that happens.
With robots especially, yeah.
Those nuts and bolts get me excited. You know I'm a huge Astromech fan. Ooh, see, don't do that. Oh,
tingle.
Me chill. But yeah, the robot did end up growing on me, and considering it's not in it as much as you think, it's gone for a fairly decent chunk. I don't know.
We'll get into that as well. The whole thing about that, I have some problems with that. But the fact that Lost in Space Season 1 feels like an incredibly well thought out piece of TV. Again, stark contrast to Discovery Season 1, where it was slapped together from ideas. It wasn't thought out at all. So the way the robot is, and having then seen Season 2, it really deepens Season 1. Obviously, the whole thing gets deepened. But just, it's different. But, I mean, what a great design. Just take it away as its own thing. A brilliant design for a robot. And just for a creature. And the fact there's a lot of practical stuff. Like, you can understand emotion from it. I mean, it's hard to design a brand new, ultra creative thing. And they did it very, very well. And yet still only, using limited... And the fact it's practical as well. I don't know. It's just more interesting. It's a more real part of the story. It isn't just the robot they have because they have a robot. Everything is very deliberate.
Imagine each Jupiter family having a robot. Like, that's how the first series and the movie would have been set up, because they were built for the Jupiters to help aid the crew. So,
well, they wanted a big overarching arc, which then deepens the mythology, and so weaving it in directly into the main cast, and that being one of the main casts is interesting. And then also how, the end of the season it goes with Dr. Smith and change sides. It's incredibly powerful stuff, considering how much time invested in the relationships. Yeah, surprising.
Yeah. Australia is not real. Just ask a flat earther. Puts in $2 Australian. Do you remember Lexus? Or do you mean just Lex, like the show Lex? I don't know what you mean by that specifically.
Assume
Lexus
they
the
mean
car,
Lex.
you're missing a U.
Assume they meant the show. The show.
Yeah, I remember it. Never really watched it, but I knew there was some freaky, weird designs in it and some weird sexualization, which maybe I should watch it. I don't know. Hellrats 96, $5.
Thank you.
The dad in the new series was in another series called Black Sails. Check it out if you haven't already. Yeah, I like the dad in the new series. I like the complexity of the new series. Just everything that's going on with the relationships, and the layering of what exactly the hell is going on. You got the robot and the kid relationship. You got the sisters. You got the mom and dad that are getting a divorce, and he wants to keep his family together, and the fact that the mom got Will in by kind of asking for a favor, which I thought went a little deeper. I thought she might have slept with the guy, but because her and the husband were on the outs, but it all comes back to bite them in the ass, kind of. Not really. I'm surprised this family's alive.
Well, but it's continuously biting them in the ass.
It is.
But at least they spend quite a bit of time for each problem. You know, they have a few big problems. You know, their entire getting off the planet in season 1, etc. They dedicate real time towards real consequences, which makes them feel more. So yes, they make out them, but they're the main characters. But at least they give them time and reasons. You know.
Yeah.
Which is important.
Eugene throws in 500 rubles with no comment, but thank you, sir. And
no,
Olivia.
I did have a message. Effing YouTube. The message was, never got even close to watching any of the 3 installments, so I'm just going to say hi.
Well, thank you, Eugene. At least popping in and saying hi and showing your support. Yeah, Super Chat is a great way to help. So, and speaking of, guys, 83 of you here. Everybody hit that like button. Yes. Anyway, what were you going to say? Sorry.
Dude, watch them. Seriously, watch the show. It's one of the better. I mean, Stuart isn't a fan of serialized necessarily, but I think it does a great job being both one big arc, but also very distinct. This is the episode in the cave. This is the episode of the rescue. This is the episode with the ice. This, you know what I mean? It's very both, which is hard to do. Maybe not the last 3, but then it's like a movie. You know what I mean? It's a movie cliffhanger sort of end. But I think it's. Would you agree? It's kind of both. I don't remember season 2 as much being as different. I think season 2 is more one big, but season 1 managed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I see exactly what you're saying, and there's some very interesting imagery and stuff, especially in the first episode, which terrifies me to no end because I'm claustrophobic.
Yes.
Like that would drive me. Anyway, we'll get into that when we talk about that. But that grabbed me right away. That was like, wow.
Hey, good one, Donnie. Go.
Olivia Julius, $5. While Stuart is getting turned on by a robot, this is a good time to remind you that you can get an official Trekyards mug at the Teespring store. I fail to see the correlation, but absolutely, go get that mug down and click the Teespring store. There's lots of cool Trekyards stuff. Thank you, Olivia.
Let's make a boner joke, but I'm not going to anymore. Yeah. So then, the big question, Stuart.
Yeah.
Season 1 v Season 2. Which better? Now, the 2 questions. Which better and why? And which do you enjoy more and why? There's different questions because you have like with the movie, a guilty pleasure. Which do you think is better and which do you enjoy more? Unless they are the same, which is fine. And you just watched them. I watched them as they aired a while ago. So this is you gotta remind me some stuff here. But what do you think?
Honestly, I think I enjoyed the first season more, and I think it was also better done, especially on the concept, because it is lost in space. I get that the Resolute's lost in space too, kind of, but it doesn't feel like you're isolated, like you're survivors on an island when you got hundreds of people around you. And I know they get separated on multiple occasions, whatever, but I think season 2 feels like a totally different animal to me. It feels kind of like a Battlestar Galactica thing where these people are trying to get to a place.
Yeah. Trying to get to Cobalt.
And the first season felt very much like the Lost in Space concept. The family Robinson gets lost in space and has to survive and try to find their way back to some kind of normalcy.
Stuart faces. But we did quite well. Almost half an hour in with his. There we go. He's back.
Anyway, season 1, yeah, they have to find their way back to some kind of normalcy and find some people. So yeah, season 1 was better written, in my opinion, more faithful to the original idea, and much more enjoyable. So,
but do you think they earned season 2's not at all Lost in Space concept by doing the Lost in Space concept in season 1? If you know what I mean.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they did. And now season 3 feels like it's going to be the last half of the movie, where they find the other ship that might have been out searching for them, that might have gone through a time thing.
Oh yeah. That was weird because you wouldn't. I don't link the show to the movie at all, so it was weird at the end to see there's a what? Why is there another ship? What?
Well, see, that was interesting because in the movie, like, the fact that they did find another Earthship that came looking for them, but it had gone through a time rift and was there for a long time or whatever. Spoilers.
No, they go through a time rift.
Yeah, but the ship was sent out. Yes, and they were into the ship after it's been deserted and stuff. Anyway, yeah. So it just feels like that was a departure from the original series. As a this is the thing that
it's the left
they sent
turn.
out.
It's like what?
They sent out the rescue party. And then the adult little thing. And so I think because Judy's the oldest daughter. Judy's father is the captain of this new ship that they found at the end of season 2, which is like the little twist at the end there. So, because Judy was adopted. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. What started that whole thing?
Oh, so the Wish You Prefer. Yeah, for me, I think season 1 is a better season. I definitely think the first half, because the problem with it's like, okay, Saw 1, weird example, but Saw 1 is all about the build and the mystery, and then there's such a satisfying payoff, but it ends. If you watch Saw 7 and you know everything, it ain't quite the same. So when you have this building, surprising mystery show where every episode is so punchy and powerful, and the cast are all doing so well, then second half of season 1 it suddenly expands to this big colony show, as you said, which is not at all where you think it's going. That I thought was a massive left turn. It's really entertaining and it ends great, but it's so unexpected. And season 2 I found very confusing, in the sense that we're doing this, are we? Because again it starts with them being lost on planet
for like 9 months or something.
Yeah,
silly.
which is like, okay, we're doing the concept again, but then you're like, well, why is Mrs. Smith, why is Dr. Smith even still alive? Like, you would have killed her, eaten her, thrown her out months ago. You know what I mean?
I would have, just for the record, I would have killed her immediately, because I hate the bitch, and there's no good can come of having her around.
So
she could sail though. She could sail, which is important.
Sure, and that CG sequence is glorious. But then it gets really intriguing when you get to the whole alien stuff. Then it's like, okay, this is really fun to watch. Then it goes weird. Then it goes big, and having them walk through their big mothership is like, this is not the show I signed up for. And these hallways are quite dull. You know what I mean? They're not good. They're very normal. Like the main Jupiter is brilliant, and the outside was brilliant from season 1, but it was just a very normal feeling thing. It gets more interesting as it it kind of peaks and troughs. And then certainly at the end, as all the ends are amazing, having all of them, the aliens attacking them and destroying the whole thing, like, that's really entertaining, and they earn it. They certainly earn it. But it's not anything I would have predicted for season 2, and it's not the original why I liked it, and because all the characters are obviously shifted all the time, I found their personal stories less interesting in season 2 than season 1. Because they've obviously evolved. So that's, so it's a weird one. I just like the simplicity and the coolness of the first part of the first season, and the fact that we go from this ice planet Hoth start, and then by the end we're dealing with a worldwide volcano with a fleet. That's a great journey, Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so actually, let's spam the chat, guys. If you've seen the series,
yes.
Which did you prefer, 1 or 2?
And why? If you can do any why, that'd be great.
Yeah, because I don't know. The first one felt more like what the series should be, especially the first half where they're still kind of looking for the other Jupiters. It was the original premise of the movie, in my opinion.
But the fact that
or not the movie, the show.
The fact that all three, I kind of think of it like RoboCop. Obviously, RoboCop is the same base premise in both films, but they're taken in radically different directions. I think RoboCop, the reboot, was really good because it was a totally different story in the same baseline premise of the guy being RoboCopped. So this is the Lost in Space characters, but in a whole new situation. So it's not the same thing again. It's actually not the same thing again, even though it has that simple premise of they get lost in space, and the fact that it's because of an alien engine is a really cool concept. And once you learn those reveals, it does it makes you really like, ooh, season 1, because you can tell they know exactly where they're going even from the first couple episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're right in there, and so it's that's how you write a show. Although I bet you, season 3 will feel rushed, or they're gonna drop stuff because it was probably meant to be a 4-seasoner, I would guess, 4 chapters. So getting 3 must be a little bit let down, I would guess.
Probably it's like the last season of Enterprise though. They're gonna rush it. There's gonna be hopefully a lot of good episodes. See, Enterprise had some definite goals in mind, and it needed another 3 seasons at least to do them. But it hit the canon plot points we wanted. There's no canon. They're going to end up getting to their destination or crashing on a planet and making a home for themselves, and but the kids will grow up and have their own little. I don't know how it's going to end, but it's going to be happy.
And that was a great reveal. The fact that it was the alien engine that gave them this special travel. That they managed to colonize this whole planet with lots of people. But they can't make another ship. Like, they are on the ship. Once the ship is gone or destroyed, there's never going to be a rescue party. Because they got the one stolen engine. That was a great reveal. Because you kind of think, oh, okay, they'll be fine at some point, maybe. But it's like, oh, no.
Yeah. We got a few more super chats. Olivia Julius, $5. Lost in Space, the production light becomes evil, nice transmorph robot. And Danger Puggy Foley. Fleet Foss Swiftback, $2. I have not, and just arrived. Worth it? Absolutely worth it. Definitely check it out. I think I'll be hooked in the first episode or 2. And
it's a extremely good binge show, because not all things are actually good binge shows. They could be, but they're not necessarily the best. This one absolutely is.
This one feels like a big budget movie. With the production, the way they did it, special effects, sets, everything just feels big, like a movie, and I think that's its favor.
But it's a big budget. It's a big budget movie that lets itself breathe and have the pace of a smaller budget thing. Well, let's joke. Oh, Stuart, where did you go? Stuart, where did you go? I was saying, it feels like a big budget thing, but that's how the production feels, but they're given the time to actually let everything grow in a TV show way. That's the example of that's why I said to, we don't necessarily want 22 episode seasons of Trek. Maybe give us 7 or 8 really good single season stories, because you can do some really clever stuff with that, etc.
Yeah. Well, you guys didn't really spam the chat, but we got some results here. Season 2, I liked both, was good journey. First, season 2 because it was less predictable. That's an interesting answer.
But who could have predicted a volcano at the end? I mean, you say that, but really, did you predict the end of season 1? I mean, come on. But yes, you are right.
Yeah. Well, season 2, I know what you mean. Okay, sorry, I got confused there. Preferred the first few episodes of season 1 and 2. That's when it felt like Lost in Space. Yeah. Season 1 was better, kept you guessing. Yes, first felt more like Lost in Space. Season 1 was close to the idea of Lost in Space, but it's narrow. Season 2 was much more interesting and has better world building. Yeah. See, it would have been almost cool to start with season 2 being on the Resolute, then something happening, but then people would right away be like, this isn't Lost in Space because they're on a ship with a bunch of other people, so.
No, I think they handled it the only way they sort of could have. Well, the problem with having more world building is that the second season is way more broad, that you don't get anywhere near as much time for the main characters. And they're not that often feeling redundant, but they have a lot less to do every single week, unless they have a specific moment. Whereas season 1, they all have a lot more to do because they're the only 8 actors. When you have 26 actors, you know what I mean? And I think season 2 also, as you I'm sure we'll talk about pretty soon, season 2 has a problem of Dr. Smith being, how are you getting away with this shit? Still, it works if you because the first season once they get to the planet, it feels like it's like 2 months, maybe a month. It's so quick that you can kind of get, okay, no one's thinking too much. They're getting away with it. But once you add on the Resolute stuff, it's like, oh, really? Not I don't think the mystery and how she gets away with it is great and clever and well done. It's just like, wow, the luckiness of that woman is absurd. Absurd.
The luckiness of everybody is absurd in this goddamn show. But yes, definitely the Dr. Smith character, a little bit unrealistic in my opinion. And I know I'm supposed to hate her, but good God.
Great acting. Great actor though. Like you buy it. I have no idea what else she's been in. I've never seen her before in my life. She's like, oh, this person.
Parker Posey, I think is the actress's name.
Although, speaking of that, eldest daughter is a very cute actress.
Well, they both are, yeah. Judy, definitely, yeah.
Which is the other one? You mean both the daughters?
Judy and Penny, they're both, yeah. Judy's the older one, the adopted one.
No, I meant the blonde one. But yeah, to be fair, both. But
Penny's redhead.
That one. There you go.
I don't know where you get blonde from.
I
but okay.
don't know. I don't know.
Fleet Pod Swiftback, $2. Is it more like the 60s series or the 1998 movie? Both
yes.
And neither.
No. That's the answer. Both yes and no.
Yeah.
It's
its own thing.
Yeah.
It's its own thing. It's reimagined very well, but it combines elements from all of it,
It probably, and this is, I guess, me guessing, it probably has the family feel of season 1 of the original, because they're such core family, but all the creative, like, wow, of season 2, of the film, because that's just like, wow, cool.
Fleet Pod's like, that's not helpful. Actually, it is very helpful. Once you watch, you'll understand what we're talking about. But it's definitely worth checking out, so... all right. So, do we want to go into each episode, or just kind of still having a broad overall arcing discussion?
No idea. This is not sponsored by me, and I haven't seen them for a while. So if you want to remind me what happens in each episode, I can tell you what I think of each episode.
Well, the first one's where they crash. Obviously, the mom has a broken leg. The ship sinks under the water, but they need one of the batteries for the heating unit and stuff. Otherwise, they're going to freeze to death. They tell Will to go down. Will's afraid to, so Judy's like, no problem, I got this. Jumps in, swims down, gets in the Jupiter looking for the battery, finds it, takes too much time. Because it's getting dark, it gets really cold, and the water they're in, or she's in, freezes. She's almost to the top, she has to drop the battery because it was holding her back. Gets almost to the top, and the water freezes. So she's stuck in a spacesuit, frozen in ice, with her mom having a broken leg. And then the dad has to go off and find something. I forget what.
Well, it's help.
Takes Will with him.
No, is it help?
No,
distress signal?
No, they're looking for magnesium or something to burn her out of the ice.
Because they're clever.
And he takes Will with him because Will wants to go.
And they find a cliff,
and then Will falls down a thing.
It's like, there's a glacier. That's a forest. It's weird.
Yeah. And Will gets trapped, and then there's a fire, and then you get the alien, which is the robot, and the dad goes back without Will, and they burn her. They try to burn her out. It doesn't work. It actually makes it worse, and then she's in a worse situation. Yeah, so that's episode 1. Episode 1 really hooks you with a This family is the unluckiest family in the universe.
But also real clever. They're not dumb characters, and they all have a part to play, and it's very important. And they dedicate a good amount of time to the flashbacks. The fact that the dad, because they're not a cohesive family unit, but they all grow together, and that's great. It's not, but it's also not. The dad is not estranged from them, but he was almost, she was almost divorcing him, and then they had the choice: do you either come with us or not? And it's not for me; it's for the kids. And they said, "Yes, I'll give up everything. The military career I really value. I think it was, which because I'm serving my country." And I remember in season 2 they show flashbacks of the Earth is polluted as fuck. Like you can't at some point you can't go outside of that breathing apparatus because it's just smog. It's like shit. And so he's doing his job to help fight smog. I don't know. But the fact that he gives up everything he knows for his family that he hasn't seen for a while, it's strong. It's a wife that isn't nice to him at any point.
But we find out later that the reason that the Earth is fucked is because of the Christmas star, which is a asteroid or a comet meteor that can't crash down at Christmas. It's a nickname the Christmas star, which later we find out was actually done by the robots or the sentient robots that their robot is a member of. But we find that out in season 2, I believe.
It's all connected.
Because I don't remember episodically what happened except for that first episode. That first episode locked me in, and then the rest is just kind of like, okay, this is what happens, storyline. So I don't remember exactly episode wise, but
I just don't like how smart everyone is, and but I mean, it's the same thing as I say with Star Trek. And when I help write Star Trek fan films, if you've got into Starfleet, you are some of the best. Because getting through the academy is really hard. Getting into the academy is really hard. Passing the academy with a good grade is hard, because some people fail the academy. Getting assigned to a starship is hard. There's not that many starships in the grand scheme. And then if you're on a big starship by the Enterprise, you're on the best ship of the fleet, pretty much. So everyone on the Enterprise should be absolutely exceptional, or like the cousin of somebody that's got them in nepotism. And so the fact... You know what I mean? So this crew, everyone on the Jupiter, is going to be exceptional because they're one of the lucky few hundred to get the spots to get to the other planet. That's why that's great, and obviously got genius family. But the fact that Will didn't quite make it because he was not quite genius enough, and yet she faked it. But it's like, I mean, he's close because he was like, I don't think he can do the physical stuff. He sucked at physical. His mind was fine. That's why she was fine to scrub the records. Like, yeah, but it's not about that. He'll grow, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I like that. Everyone's a really strong, powerful thing.
I mean, a little too much, though. It seems like this is like the perfect family as far as the mom can do anything. The dad's the military guy that can do anything. The oldest daughter is a nurse or doctor. Sorry, not a nurse.
Well, she's
Penny. What the hell does Penny do? Penny doesn't do anything really.
Penny does everything. No, Penny's the everything. She can go between helping every family member, everything. She's the people person.
And Will's the talk to aliens guy.
Yeah,
Make friends with the robot.
I think he was a math kid. I think he did the maths.
Probably.
Or chemistry.
Yeah.
But you're right. But yeah, the mum is certainly too MacGuffin-y. But obviously, so are other characters. So that's not, so is Carter and Stargate. It's just the.
Yeah.
But
she's the Carter. She's the Burnham. She's a Mary Sue essentially, and she never gets called that though because the way they do her characters, well done.
I think the difference is she often has a more negative slant towards our characters. Like, I remember there's a point she calls a rift between some of the kids because she's been a bit. Whereas Carter's always nice and reasons for things. So, she's not a balanced character, but she's a more real person. That's the thing. She's a real person with issues. That's the problem with that sort of thing. But that's why when you see scenes of her making up with the dad and then reconnecting, it's really rewarding. It's like with Clancy and Picard. What a cow in the first episode she's in. But then to see her then say, you're right, Picard, at the end is a strong payoff. It's just you wish she wasn't such a cow in the first one. So there's a problem with, it's a journey that you got to have a place to start and a place to go.
And all the family members have interpersonal issues with each other, like even the mom with Penny, because Penny writes the story later, which is the story of what they went through in season 1.
That's
And
great.
she
Yeah.
keeps they do a little Christmas thing where they
That's
hand out,
great. Yeah.
I got you published, you know.
Yeah.
And Penny even asks her mom, like when they're kind of stuck down under the sea or the waterfall thing, did you actually read my book? Oh yeah, I read it, knowing full well that she's lying, and the mom knows she's lying. Um, it because so they're not perfect characters, and I think that's what makes this all work so well, because you see all these little character flaws that everyone has, so you can relate to anybody in the show pretty much.
And I'm trying to remember. I think that also Penny didn't go on with her mum as much. They kind of unbonded over time. So she got on with the dad more, which is they have those scenes. And the other daughter got on with the mum more, but because she's an adult in the season, she can do her own thing. She's not reliant on the whole mum, child parent relationship. And the obviously Will then is very much parent relationship with the mum, because that's just what you get with that sort of thing. Yes.
Mm. Squadron course, $2. If characters are too good, no room for growth, or no room to grow.
It's tricky, that, isn't it? Because you have, again, things like Star Trek.
Hello?
Hello. Stuart, man. Stuart, man. What's wrong, man? Just gonna hang up on him. Weird. Weird. Sorry about that, guys. Should I give him a call back?
Hello?
Hello.
There we go. Good.
Weird.
Squadron course, $2. If characters are too good, no room to grow. I guess. I don't know.
I was saying the problem with that though is that you look at the Star Trek characters and look at the Voyager crew. You got Janeway, you got Kim. Look at TNG. They're all nice people. Growing is a relative term, isn't it? Experiences can make you grow as well. Even Cisco, like, he's a good guy. He doesn't grow in the terms of he just starts out bad. He just has lost his wife. That's a thing that happened to him. That's not who he is as a person, etc., etc. So I don't know. Depends who they are and where they are.
I think Cisco was handled well. He was kind of depressed, lost his way, had no ambition. Didn't want to be put in charge of the station. Eventually, kind of got through all that, and he was always a good dad. Like, that's one thing they really made a good point of. Wow, Trek on the Tube. Why the fuck would you talk about this garbage? Because it's sci-fi.
And it's a really good show.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, we got some. So season 1, I'm trying to think now. They lose their fuel source.
Yes.
That's a big plot point. See, I don't have the episodic vibe anymore, unfortunately. Just trying to remember exactly everything that happens.
I mean, the thing in lots of stuff is also... Okay. Just hung me right up. Weird. Eels in the fuel, yes.
Yes. There we go. That's better. All right. Yeah. Carr is right. The fuel source gets eaten by eels, which was interesting to say the least. Let's see. What else happened?
Well, they're still in the snow, I recall, and then they have to. And you get that great scene where the thing's like falling off the edge, and then it's thawing, and they have to go in like the side, and they go in, and then the eels are on the lower floor, and they have to vent it. And it's like, well, either we all die, or eels.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it's like then they find the other Jupiters, and they manage to mine some other stuff. And they also run out of. Well, they've got enough fuel, but not for everybody. I don't know. It's very. And obviously you get the Smith character who, blows a guy out of an airlock, steals a guy's badge thing.
Yep.
Almost steals a thing, and then another guy goes because the mechanic with her. I think they're both. Yeah, because he jimmies the lock, doesn't he? He gets the door open, saying, "This is your Jupiter, right?" And she's like, "Yes."
Don West, yeah, he's trying to. He's a smuggler. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's the Matt LeBlanc character from the movie.
Yeah.
Which I love the way they introduce everybody because not everybody's there from the beginning. Like, there's no robot from the beginning. He's not there from the beginning. Like the way they did it was great, bringing everybody together, and even the fact that him and Dr. Smith were together. Then Dr. Smith betrayed him, essentially, got rescued by the Robinsons, and you're like, where the hell is he then? And then he shows up again later and then confronts her. Like, the jig would be up so many times. I don't, like you said earlier, like, she's too lucky. But, I hate that character.
Yeah, they definitely focus on building it, giving you the, like you're jumped into the Resolute stuff, so you get like, oh my god, it's so big, oh bye. And then you don't even get to enjoy the ship because they lose the ship instantly, and then they slowly regain it, which means you then get the coolness of then rediscovering it. When they eventually get it all cleaned, and then when they get the fuel, then we can fly it, and then obviously in season 2 it's very different when they can fly it all they want. And then and they're good at doing those the worst things you can imagine in terms of a sci-fi thing. The being trapped under ice in a ship where you're dying of lack of air, and then being in basically a work bee outside a ship that you can't impulse engine to catch up to, and it's like, I can't shit, oh god, I'm going to die, this is bad. Like, that's awful, but it's so simple. That Mutiny was great too. Season 2 is very strange season. It's good though.
Yeah,
I think what I don't like about season 2 though especially is that they throw the robot in a cave for like 3 episodes. They kind of abandon a core principle in favor of pausing, taking stock, and then going all out at the end. But it's like, yeah, but it was so elegantly woven in season 1, and you're just going to throw it out for a little bit in season 2. Oh,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the robot comes kind of in and out of it, and it's a real game changer, really, the robot, because if it, becomes friends with Will and does everything to protect him, saves Judy at the beginning, like she would have died.
Yes, true.
If the robot hadn't showed up.
Heat guns. Very important.
And then of course Will tells him to walk off the cliff.
Oh, that's horrible. Yeah.
It is, and then is super depressed for quite a few episodes. Then, Dr. Smith finds him and becomes his friend. So it's danger with Dr. Smith. He's there to protect her.
Great reveal.
And I don't know why she doesn't exploit that and just. But she's like, her character is really weird. Like, she could have had the upper hand so many times.
But the thing is, the character knows, I don't know how to fly the ship. I don't know how to make food or water. I don't know how. She doesn't have any skills. That's the entire point. She took money from her sister, who was rich, who gave her free money. She was a drug addict, I believe, earlier on. She's a mooch. Yep. She has no skills except a liar. And so she needs to... That's why...
She's a con artist.
Yeah, thank you, yeah. So that's... Oh, God, he looks so young. I found my copies of Season 1, and boy, he looks so young in Season 1, the kid. So now I can scroll through Season 1. Oh, yeah, and the crash alien ship.
Yep. And I gotta say the robot, the way it looks originally with the where it's attacking and stuff
Oh
looks
god.
fantastic. And then the reconfiguring to the human form is
Yep.
kind of creepy, but still, it's a great look, and it's definitely an interesting character. I love that they did that with the robot, as opposed to having all the Jupiters have one. Let's say,
Yeah.
the fact that it's an alien, and the ones that they got the drive from for the Resolute, that attack the Resolute because of the drive. Like, it's a very interesting dynamic that's woven through this, and it's something that I didn't expect. Nice twist. Because the robot's one of the classic characters that everybody loves. So
yeah, and by having that instant distinction of the different forms, it tells you that when they come aboard in season 2 and are all attack mode, it's so blatant. And you could say, oh, it's their gimmick of red is bad, blue is good, but they've done such a good job setting up kind of the different sort of vibes of them. They're just like, oh god, oh no, bad, 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 bad.
yeah. None of the children are adopted, same mother. Oh, is that what you think, Brian? Did they explain that? Because if they did, I must have missed it.
Well, obviously, it's adopted for him in terms of it isn't his child, and so I think it was from like 1, because she never knew her dad. I believe that was like, from what I remember, it was a died before I was born sort of thing.
Yeah, I got the vibe that her parents were dead and she was adopted. But it's interesting.
And you just watched it as well, and that's a big part of season 2.
Exactly. I don't think it would have been. I don't think it was explained that way. I don't know if you're saying that for a fact or if you're just.
Let me Google it. Okay, so
She's her dad, says Kerr.
Yes, she's daughter of the lady, adopted father. Her biological father is Grant Kelly, who died before she was born. See, we are right. Just she's also the other one.
Okay, I didn't get that from. I must have missed that part, but
that's why it's so satisfying in season 2, and they go into it quite a lot, and you get the whole reading the report saying he's my dad. Because yeah, of course it's my dad. I've known him my entire life. This is my dad. I've got no other.
Yeah. Well, they do a really good job with the flashbacks of them bonding and stuff, especially when she's going to rescue him when he fell down the mine shaft and was dying.
Yes,
and she had to run, and then she had to go across where there was no protection gates, and you got the 3-tailed raptors chasing her. Like, there's some really fantastic stuff here,
and not stuff you think will be in her character, because they kind of make everyone shift in season 2, because in season 1 everyone needs to do multiple roles because they are the only bit of the crew. In season 2, you've got a doctor and an engineer. So they all have their own thing. And I'm reading this. John Robinson's Judy's adopted father. Judy's personality is more like John's. She's very brave and do anything for her family. Yeah, definitely. I like that as a way. She isn't the guy's daughter, but she is the most like him.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great. There's a niceness there. That works very well.
Got a few more super chats, though. Cypher Commander, $2. Are you planning on watching the Babylon 5 remaster? I mean, at some point, probably I will, yeah.
We were doing a watch up to season 3, so I'm sure swap into the remasters.
Yeah.
It's like if you're going to watch it, might as well watch it with the remasteredness, although, it's sometimes hard to see it's remastered because it's like, it's better, but it's like, it's what you expect it should be. It's like TNG. It's like, oh, that's crisp. That one's like, oh yeah, it's a bit more detail on the jacket. It's weird.
Yeah.
You need certain scenes for it to look a lot better.
Feet Pass Swiftback, $2. Rank the Robots, TOS movie and reboot. Well, it depends on what are you considering as far as the, factors.
I guess just pure personal preference.
Well, there's really 2 in the movie. There's the original one, and there's one at the end of the movie where it's half the other robot head, the old style head. So the first one's very 1960s. I can say that. Honestly, I think the one from the movie is my favorite. Then they're so different though. God damn. Yeah, I'd say the movie, then the original, and then the new one. But depends how you rank. I don't know. The new one's really cool. Like I love the way its face can show its emotion, kind of with the swirling.
And the thing is, neither of us have seen the original show, so we have no personal link to it. So even if it has all these
just
great,
that just that it's classic sci-fi robot. You know.
yeah, it looks cheap and cheerful. You know,
Danger, Will Robinson, waving its claws around. That's dangerous in itself.
Like, does it have a character? I don't really know. Oh.
It does. It does. I've seen enough of it to know that it does have a character.
And for me, the thing is, the third robot isn't a robot; it's an alien. Like that's almost it's almost not the right question. It's an alien, and so it's not the same. I think the second robot's probably the best because it's actually a robot, and I love the voice. I think the voice I chose was really, really good and had a lot of character. The third one's both a real character but has less of a audio part. It's weird. It does both. Like it's, you know, it's like a silent protagonist who you love, who has more story, versus a non-silent who you like. Oh, I get that.
Yeah, I wish it would talk more.
Yeah.
This new robot, like it hardly says anything.
Yep.
And I know that's part of the appeal, but I figured it would start learning how to talk as it went, and so far it really hasn't. Which is a little.
But that's why, obviously, when it said Danger Robinson for the first time, it's like, oh, yeah, that was a thing, you know.
Yep. Jarzy at $5. Off topic, but the Mass Effect Legendary Edition reveal trailer just dropped and looks amazing. Release date is May 14th.
And I just brought that up. I'm gonna watch that, and I will absolutely pre-order that on Steam. And that is a good time for us to. Oh, it's expensive. Ooh. Definitely one that we should play at some point.
Mass Effect, will it be released for the PlayStation?
Yes. Yep. PlayStation, Xbox,
Which one?
Steam, and Origin.
PlayStation 4 or 5?
Well, I assume 5 with a 4.
Well, I'm getting a 5 soon. So.
I mean, things are backwards compatible, surely, on PlayStation at the moment. So it's 4, but I'm assuming it'd be. Okay. I mean, well, it's 4. It gets improved for 5 anyway.
Well, I'll probably get it then because everybody's been telling me I need to get it. So
PS4 Pro Enhanced at least, and then it will be better on 5. But that I really want to. I mean, I could always fly over to you in May.
I don't think so.
I think
this year's another write-off. Next May, a year from this May, maybe. Yes, maybe May. I don't know. I'll shut up now. Yeah.
Super chats.
I read them all already.
Oh, okay. I was zooming through the episodes because I haven't, like I said. You got the great van truck thing, which is fun.
Oh, the shit! I just had the name of it. Oh fuck yeah! Can't remember what it's called now. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. The Chariot.
Yes, brilliant. Yeah, I really like in the first season how much you understand and like the interior of the ship. Like you understand all rooms, all its placement. It's bright, it's open, it's big. It's that classic sort of generic white sci-fi, but because it's tiny, but that's central, you can kind of picture it very easily. And so I'm sort of scrolling, and yeah, when they finally manage to escape the ice and fly, like they fly, and then they're out of fuel.
They fly now.
I was hoping you were going to say that. Yeah, because then it goes from being this ice planet in the first 3 episodes to now they're just on an ice. They just meet everyone. Suddenly, episode 4 is like, oh wow, yeah, we just landed with the other people. I have a chicken.
Trying to remember what the chicken's name is now. God damn, I can't remember that.
That's the Cluckerson.
No, it's a female name.
And then they put the robot in a cave because everyone's so scared of it because it killed people and, it attacked it. I mean, one creature took out the entire ship, so yeah, it's quite dangerous. And then she goes in, talks to it. Episode 5. Lots of flashbacks.
Transmission.
This is one of those few ones where I'm scrolling that they make just generic forests look great.
Yeah.
It's so bright and colourful. It doesn't feel alien, but it's like, this is a cheap. And once they build the set and they put the actors on location, like, boom, every scene, every whatever feels a certain scope that's awesome.
And we get Penny trying something new because she takes the Chariot out for a drive, which she's never driven it before, because Judy has to stay behind at the ship. And I just love that the kids get assigned things to do, and things always go sideways. And I also like that the Jupiter, when it lands, is like a camper trailer.
Yeah.
Parts that come out.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
Well, it's designed to be a fully self-sufficient thing.
Yeah.
And
I love the advertisement for when they get to their destination, where you see one parked by a lake, and there are people out fishing on the little dock with the Jupiter behind them.
Yeah.
Damn.
What do you think of the love interest stuff with Penny and son of leader?
I think it's good. I like how it's a major plot point, because the planet's going to be destroyed because of the black hole, and she overheard the mom saying it, so the mom doesn't know that she knows. She knows, so she wants to get with this kid, is disappointed when the waterfall isn't there, so she tells him that, I just wanted to do something special because we're pretty much all going to die. He's the son of the leader, so now that he knows, I just love how it trickles down, like the spiral effect of, oh shit, this is getting worse. But no, their relationship's interesting, and I don't have an issue with it.
That's you saying that.
I know, and that's what I mean. It's done well. It's written well enough that I care. And even Judy and Don, Colonel West or whatever, not Colonel West, I think his name's Don West. I don't remember. Anyway, their relationship is good as well. I really like him. The fact that he was smuggling alcohol. And he's an unlikable character because he's doing illegal shit, but he's also very relatable and super nice and just a great guy, So.
And yet being a lower class scumbag, like
yes,
that's the whole point. He's not a good guy, but he is also.
Yeah, and it always wins out like, I got to do the right thing, and go up in the Jupiter with the dad, and then the Jupiter blows up, and you're like.
Well, it kind of feels like a Han Solo-esque.
Yes.
That charming rogue, and certainly when they're in space. I mean, that I did not see coming. Their ship blows up and they're on a bit of wreckage, and it's like, sorry, we're gonna rescue our family from a piece of floating wreckage in space. Fuck. God, and then he goes blind. And
then it's Dr. Smith that actually saves them with the harpoon. When you think she's gonna do something sketchy, but no, she saves. She does a lot of weird, non-charactery things sometimes.
Well, because she knows that.
I know.
The kid and the mum will never let her get away with shit if they let her die. She's a very big chess player.
Long game for sure.
Although that was definitely a weird one in season 1, that you get this very hard, timeline of, we've got enough fuel to either escape or rescue the dad. We're rescuing the dad. F you. We've done it, and now we're stuck. But the planet's going to get sucked and destroyed. Well, thank God the Resolute's going to come around and find us. It's like, oh well, wow, good for them. Phew. And then, doubly weird, when suddenly the Resolute actually has a full captain and a full captain staff. Like, they were the batch of people that went to this planet for whatever reason, but there is you assume it's going to be deserted like the other movie, and then the team are going to take it. No, it's just, the whole command staff. So, okay, cool. Weird.
Yeah, the stuff with the Resolute was definitely unexpected.
Yeah.
Because, once they found it, I definitely expected it to be abandoned and like everything was aged or something, like something happened.
Yeah.
But
or at least just like doubling down on our crew,
Yeah.
I'm going through episode whatever, but Judy goes up in a balloon she goes through the atmosphere. I can't remember why, but that's cool.
Judy or the mom?
No, or is it the mom?
It's the mom. That's where she finds out that there's the black hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Fleet Pass Swiftback, $2, 103 likes. Epic. Can we do 125? Hashtag make Fleet Pass pay. Yes, we can. Hit that like button, guys. Let's get to 125. I'm really enjoying talking about something non-Trek related for a minute.
Yes. Absolutely. No, this is the sort of show where you get the feeling, or I do, that every dollar went on the screen.
Yeah.
It's that sort of show. There isn't 19 executive producers sucking the budget down.
And the space stuff, both on the Resolute, the spacesuits, the Chariot, the Jupiter, they're all very realistic. They're very real space. And I know a lot of people that like real space, like Rick Sternbach, my buddy Blappy and stuff, really like Lost in Space because it's very realistic as far as that kind of stuff goes, and it looks like an advancement on what we got now.
Well, but it's that sleek, real. Like everything still has that certain elegance. It's like the Elon Musk suits. It's like, oh, that shit doesn't need to look like that. That looks like that because they want it to look like that. You know, there's style there.
Yeah.
So now I'm up to episode 6, and they go back to Don's Jupiter, and they grab the fuel. That's the only one that has fuel still. They have to grab it off the thing. That was a good one. Good bit of tension there. Oh, then it makes the thing jump off the cliff. That was a dark, depressing scene.
Oh, I love where they made the robot stack all the stones for all the people it had killed. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then that's right before he tells it to walk off the cliff. So,
Oy.
But that pays off later because when the robot comes back, somebody dies and it stacks a stone thing. I forget who that is or when.
I don't remember that.
It's in season 2. Well, I'll find then.
It's alright, yeah. Oh, and then the husband and wife get locked in their tar pit inside a chariot.
That was terrifying as well.
Yeah.
Running out of oxygen. One of them can make it out.
Yep.
If she opens the top hatch, she can get out with the spacesuit. He'd die. And then they find a way to use the garbage bag balloon.
Clever.
I don't know what the hell. I know, but it's like wasted a chariot.
And that's a lot. They commit a lot to that bit. But that's them bonding. It's like there's a reason they fell for each other in the first place, you know?
Yeah, well, absolutely, yeah.
No, that's
oh man.
It's just
that's what I mean. Like,
sorry.
I was gonna say there's some really good moments in here that are very relatable. Like, not that everybody's in a near-death situation every day, but you know, even though you're getting a divorce and you hate the person, there's still that chance of reconciling. Like, it's interesting the way it's played out.
Yeah. No, it's just full of super clever ideas, and that's really important. You know, it's really important. It's very successful.
But I really could have done without Dr. Smith. I'm sorry.
It's always going to come back.
She ruined the show for me a little bit because I'm always expecting the other shoe to drop any second, and that's probably why it was so good. Why I enjoyed it. But at the same time, I just was so frustrated with her. I just wanted her gone. Like, I honestly, for the record, would have killed her very early on. As a person in real life, in that situation, she would not be staying on my ship, taking up air, food. No.
The food's the
being near my kids.
Manipulating your kids every goddamn minute of every goddamn day.
Yes. And then she gets on the Resolute and changes all the files, deletes the footage of her airlocking the guy, her interrogation. Because I love the interrogation where the guy's like, I got good news and bad news. The good news is we don't have a system of law set up here because everybody that's on this ship has passed all these qualifications and there's no real criminal justice system. But the bad news is there's no criminal justice system, so I can do whatever the hell I want with you. I thought that was great. And then, of course, the emergency happens with the Resolute, and he gets called away.
Like that minute.
And that's where she gets on the Jupiter with. So, oh my God. And then identity chip.
Yes.
And reprograms it.
Yep. I mean, she is like, clever still. Man. And I'm get at the end of the season when there's that surprise moment of an alien ship shows up as they're leaving, and a bigger, badder other alien comes in. There's all like, well, 2 of them. Yeah, one's in a normal mode, one's in attack mode. They're like, help me, brother. It's like, what? No, but Will, you're my friend, but you also killed me once. Shit. And there's an epic fight. And then they break the door, and he has to do a spacewalk outside of the ship and actually loses loses grip. And just the CGI I'm just watching is so absolutely incredible. Like top notch. Top notch.
Yeah.
And they choose and then oh, okay, yeah, I remember. So at the end of season 1, the Resolute doesn't find them, or is going to come get them. That's the weird thing. It's going to come get them, and then suddenly the engine, which they've managed to take, they nicked a new engine from the crash ship, I believe, I think, and it goes into their FTL, where their engine becomes FTL, then it warps out. And like, we're in a new galaxy, and then everyone's like, oh my god, they're going to be lost in space, and then season 2's like, nah, JK. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, season
for a little
2's
bit, but
season 2's interesting because it starts out where they got this outside greenhouse set up they're keeping keeping the atmosphere out. They're growing plants, and they've been there for I think 9 months or just over. I forget exactly the amount of time that's gone by.
Enough time to be comfortable in a weird way.
Yeah, and then the storm destroys the. Destroys the thing. The dad almost dies because he goes outside, and then they decide, fuck it, we're going to get out of here.
Well, it's like, it took us 6 months to get to a place where we could be stable. Now we're going to start again, but we lost all the seeds. Like, we can't, like, we could, but we're not going any closer. I think there's like a energy. There's lightning storm. There's a lightning storm out in the water. every set time, every set thing. That is not fake, and we need power because the engine needs power, and we're out of power. So either we risk it. Either we stay here and be okay in a poisonous planet where our kids will never know anybody, or we risk it and almost die, and they almost die. God,
and that's where Dr. Smith comes in handy because she's a sailor, and she helps them with the sailing because they jury rig these sails on the ship.
And everyone's like, "No, you're not." She's like, "No, I was," but you lie all the time. "But I really was." And you're like, "Yeah, but was she really?"
telling the truth.
Was she really though? And you don't even know until like she's doing, and then they bump into the channel. I was like,
yes,
whoa.
with the alien markings, with the alien writing.
Yeah. That's a great, like, wait, what? It literally puts a story dead in its tracks. Then
that's when, so right before this, they had the Christmas.
Yeah, that's
where they ended out Penny's story. Then I think in episode 2 is where the mom and Penny get trapped down in the trench.
I guess so. Like, I guess I scrolled
in
past
the metal
it.
trench. Well,
yeah.
I could be wrong with the episode number there, but I know it happens around there.
Because 3 they get to the Resolute, so has to be 2 then.
Okay.
And then you get one episode where it's all like the Resolute is destroyed and damaged, and because everyone got to the ship, we got to the ship, the ship's abandoned again. God damn it! What happened a second time? Which was great. That was great, and then it kind of gets too normal. I think.
Yeah. Then we're still looking for the robot. The robot's gone because it got airlocked. Well.
When it sacrificed itself to defeat the other robot,
Yeah.
And then they are doing something on a planet with the actual main team. Yeah, because everyone left the Resolute to go to a planet, just they're safer. They're mining something.
Yes. Then the dad falls.
Yes. They also we learn about the engine inside the main ship. I think they ask Will to try and work with it because he has a connection. They get lots of input because then it's not life and death so much. So all the characters do stuff for a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, then we get the dad who's injured, bleeding out, and Judy's got to run to save him.
Yeah.
But the chariot runs out of gas or whatever. So she has to get out, literally run. She's not going to make it in time. She calculates a shortcut across this thing where there's not the protection gates. And she gets chased by the 3-tailed raptors, which are pretty cool. Oh yeah, I mean, and that's the one with all the flashbacks with her leaving with her friends and saying goodbye to her dad and stuff, and just showing the dad relationship. So, yeah.
Yeah, one of the memorable things I remember, also now I'm scrolling, episode 6, we have the whole, they brought up that tainted metal that has a virus in it.
Oh, the Rust
The
stuff.
Rust, which is such a great simple concept. And they're in this school, and they have to eject it and be in a little box, a little radiator box. That's great.
Which had a refrigeration unit, and they needed to take that out so that they all could get in, but
Yeah.
they would almost might freeze to death or die. Yeah, and then they get saved at just the last minute.
And then they have this great thing where the teacher and Smith's like, children, I can make him sacrifice his life, okay? Do you want to die, or do you want me to make him sacrifice himself, making things his idea? And I'm like, oh, God. By that point, Judy's kind of on her side more because reasons, I don't know why exactly. But then she overrides her and forces him to get in the box, even though he's at that point saying, yes, I will sacrifice myself. She has some good scenes for sure in that season. Like, when they use her, they know how to do it. It's just like sometimes like, annoying.
Yeah. And then we get the guy that has been working with on the alien tech, helping out the mom and, having Will and the mom go with them.
Forcing
they take
them.
The horses. They take the horses, and the one horse ends up dying because there's a stampede of alien buffalo or something.
Well, it's because Will has a hallucination, a dream of where the robot is. 'Cause they've got a psychic connection, because he understands that he also has a connection with his robot, except not as much because he was torturing it the entire time because it was injured as well. Whereas he's jealous of Will because, like, why has Will got a friend robot? I want a friend robot. I have a hurt robot that I have to torture to do what I want. He's jealous because he's a scientist first, torturer second.
Anyway, they find the robot, and the robot learns about taking care of the horse, and then the horse dies, and the robot's all sad about the horse.
Oh, yeah.
It's like robot art.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how the horse dies or whatever, but Olivia Julius, $2. There's uniform in season 1, looks like Discovery uniform, or their uniform. Kind of.
Oh, he puts a rock down for the horse. That's sad.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's the one, because he learned that in season 1. Yes. And let's take a second here before we talk about the rest of season 2 to talk about the first scene of season 1, where the family's around the table in their spacesuits playing cards while their ship is crashing. Like, what? It's a great way to start a Lost in Space, but anyway, very well done, guys. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that. I don't know why that popped into my head just now, but
yeah. Guys, we want some more likes. It's free if you can. 15 more likes would be golden, and 30 more bucks would be nice. We're not expecting too much, just a nice chill chat, but 50 would be great. That'd be an ideal one. But 30 if you can. Let us know what you guys think.
I think tomorrow will be a TNG review, just so you guys are aware. Probably, maybe.
I'm
I don't
told.
know. We haven't talked about it yet.
I'm being told it is.
No, we can change.
No, I'm playing. And then we get the they can't move the engine from the Jupiter 1, so they bring the robot in. Now they've got the robot finally, and he manages to move the engine, and now they can finally get anywhere else. Because they just want to go to the planet, you know. They just want to go to the planet.
Yeah. So I'm looking on IMDb. It's useless. The synopsis, the descriptions of these episodes are useless on here.
Going towards a planet. What planet are they going towards?
I love how they the guy that's working with the other robot they call them Scarecrow.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Great name. Yeah.
Though that's mostly hurt, and then he's able to cannibalize parts from another robot, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And that I'm thinking, no, that thing's gonna kill a lot of you. As soon as it goes sentient and more okay, it's gonna hurt people. You shouldn't be. No, this is not a good choice.
And there's also the mom goes out to do something with the ship because they're in a gas giant.
Because I think that may be either to refuel or to get rid of the rust.
It's to refuel. It's to pick up some of the gas, the components on the gas giant.
But she specifically mutinies to get command because they won't do it otherwise, and she's like, "Yes, but my math will work." And
she mutinies after she gets rescued, doesn't she? Because she goes outside.
Oh, maybe.
The dad goes out to
in their
the
work
one guy
boots.
on board is the one that helped Will get on board the ship or the expedition.
Which is like you said, quite like, oh, it's just that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Simple. A favor for a favor. Like there's not much else to that.
But he tries to kill them essentially by moving the Resolute. They're stuck in these two little work bees essentially. Eventually catch back up with the ship and get back in, but
and they also hide in a trash compactor because that's the only room that they haven't got security cameras, and they throw the other robot in there. And he now understands friendship, the main robot, because he loved the horse. And it's like, but this is my brother. Don't leave my brother. But it's like, yeah, but he's gonna try and murder us all. It's like, yeah, but my brother. It's like, well, yeah, but and so they use the kid who's the son to use access codes, etc. Because they become criminals at one point, which is great. And they have to hide in a ship that has security cameras everywhere. And the robot sacrifices himself while they escape, which is weird, but good. Because they want to use a robot. All they have to do is go into the ship and pilot it and get them out. It's that easy. Ooh, and then they take Scarecrow down to the planet, the original planet, and put him in the lightning storm. And it heals him, probably. And the guy's kind of sweet, because he does stay with the robot, even though he gets electrocuted. So, like, I didn't mean to hurt you, except I needed shit. Sorry. Okay, it's fine. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, a lot happened the last half of the season, this one. I wonder if they knew that they weren't going to get another season.
That's, I could, well, I don't know. It feels like a natural build, but I can imagine they'd probably, like, put one more plot line in. Because then it escalates. Then they get attacked by a lot of robots. And the CG's, again, gorgeous.
That's a great scene where they freeze them all.
So good.
And then they realize that they're actually still moving a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're going for the power cables to stop the conductor.
Lots of power cables, like they're all inching, yeah.
And then Dr. Smith goes in, and we think she's dead at this point because I don't think they know she's alive yet at the end of the season, do they? She goes in, something happens to her spacesuit.
Yeah, it gets like because it gets something.
Yeah,
gets caught, whatever.
But that's great where the robots are just slightly moving. And they start going towards the power cables. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, because I'm watching. So yeah, she sacrifices herself potentially, and then we cut to exterior spacesuit cracked. No one's in it. So it's like, oh.
So she must be dead.
No, we do get a scene after that where somehow she's somewhere else. I seem to recall.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. And then they say they say right, we can't save the ship. We can hold the people. We got one. We can't move Resolute. We can move one Jupe to put all the kids on.
Yes.
And the robot will save them all.
And Judy's in charge, because she's the oldest.
Yeah. And then big epic fight, and the dad comes in, and all the Jupiters launch because now they suddenly decide, yeah, we'll blow up the Resolute to kill them all. That's our plan B. And they'll use the wreckage of the previous ship to destroy it. Yeah, the bit that we jettisoned earlier in the season, because it all links together. And then they're on the ship. They actually get us. Oh, that destruction of the ship is gorgeous. That Resolute, that's so good. Flying through it is just absolutely sad. But boy, that thing go boom. And they do, and the kids all manage to escape.
But don't they go through a wormhole or some kind of?
Well, they're going to the planet. They think the home, and they're like, "Oh, this ain't the planet, man. Why did you take all of the children to an unknown planet?" And it suddenly pans, and then we see it's broken.
Because you know what show you're in, right? Lost in Space.
And then
Don't sign up for that shit.
And then we see the planet's broken apart with the original ship. It was an original exploration ship that was another. I think it was like another FTL driver was trying to test before their other one. And then and that's the cliffhanger. We don't even know what happened to the people, because all the parents are at the wreckage of the Resolute. The alien ship gets destroyed, but
and the ship they find is captained by Judy's real dad. Yes,
it's in wreckage for like 20 years. It's still got power though. Still got lights on. So it's weird. All the adults are flying their Jupiters barely away with nothing more than standard sublight, and all the kids are somewhere else. It's like, oh shit. Why? God, come on!
Well, the good news is season 3 is done filming, so probably expect it fall of this year, 2021. So that's good. But don't know.
Maybe maybe we should review season 3 if there's not enough if there's no Trek content, because now we're both up to speed.
I'd be down. I'd be down for that,
and
for sure.
We could both enjoy it not as a binge, because then we actually remember each episode more. We're forced to not watch them all in one go. That could be fun.
There's lots of little things that we didn't touch on, kind of just talking about this the way we did. But
yeah, that was a really surprise ending. Although to have 2 wormholes at the end of 2 seasons is a bit of a
I just hated how hectic everything felt. Like, just as one problem got solved, somebody else is in a life-threatening situation, which realistically most people wouldn't get out of. So this is either the luckiest family or the unluckiest family. A little bit of both, probably. I wonder if they're relatives of O'Brien. O'Brien must suffer. So must the Robinsons. But no, I mean, it's a fantastic series. I'm kind of glad there's only 3 seasons, because, like I said, this gives me an ulcer every time I watch it, because just something new it's just something gets resolved, something new crops up, and then that stupid Dr. Smith. I liked him in the movie because he was kind of like the original one. He was just silly, like too over the top.
Well, he's a mustache twirling villain, but with such a slime and a charisma. You know, It's like Will Smith playing a really charming villain. Like, oh, I like him anyway. He's gonna kill us all, but I like him so much.
Yeah.
He's great. He killed us all, but he's great. And Tiberian says, yes, thank you. And again, we'll jump through the entire season. He says, subtle thing. They plotted the wormhole jump to find a Jupiter signal, which had to be on Alpha Centauri. Turns out to be the nearest signal to actually the new old ship. So they went for they didn't know where they were to know where they were going, but they just said lock onto the nearest signal, which would have to be. We've only got one ship flying, and it's this one. So the nearest signal must be Alpha Centauri. Yeah. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. It was shit. The surviving ship that is also lost in space. For sure.
Okay, so speculations. You think they're going to make it to Alpha Centauri, or you think they're going to have to end up settling somewhere else? But you're going to get a time jump at the end. You're going to see like Judy and Dawn have a kid of their own, and
really, he's like 30 and she's like 18, but okay.
It's fine.
Well, she was
10 years older than.
Yeah, but she was 15 when she met him, and he was already like in his 30s. I did not get that relationship from it. That's weird. Oh wait, no, Judy the adopted or the redhead?
The adopted one. The oldest.
Oh, okay, she's old.
One in charge. The doctor.
Okay, I mean, maybe, I didn't get any chemistry from them though.
Penny and the kid of the leader are gonna be together.
Yeah. I was like, what?
So it's gonna end like that, where they have a little town on a planet, they're all happy, they have kids of their own.
You mean if they're forced to? Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
I get that.
Or do you think they're gonna make it to Alpha Centauri, where they this whole thing was leading to?
Well, it depends what the real story is. Is the story about the aliens? Is the story about the kids? Is the story about the
family Robinson? That's what it's about.
But that's the thing. Season 2 wasn't about them. It was about the aliens, about the bigger story. That's why it's such a different thing. I don't know. I feel like I'm hoping they make peace with them, and like I'm hoping. Obviously, I'd like a nice result, whereby they can express.
Like they clean up Earth. The aliens help clean up Earth or something.
That's interesting. Although I think that would be too much. I would more potentially say that maybe the good alien convinces the other alien, because there's obviously a reason for everything. Like, why are they doing whatever? They convince them that if we help them move, they can help us X, Y, and B. But since we don't know the motivations, it's hard to think. I was just saying maybe the robot will be cognizant, or he'll give other FTL drives so they can get more people over to the planet. So kind of like, yes, Earth is still doomed, but because they doomed it, they crashed, but they'll give us 5 drives and 5 aliens to move people over the course of 20 years, 30 years, and it'll suck still, but it won't be as dramatic, it won't be as deadly. I don't know. I mean, the fact that the first 2 seasons is so surprising, but it would be weird if it ended on everyone dying or everyone blowing up.
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
But also, you wouldn't necessarily just want to see the 200 people live on a planet by themselves. Like, I mean, that's not a good life for anybody, is it?
It is though, like the pioneers going out to a new, like to, you know, as long as there's enough diversity where they can not be all inbred. I mean, it's fine.
But I don't know if it'd be satisfying or not, because that's not what the story was about. It was about the main family and the alien, not about them colonizing specifically. Because they weren't colonizers; they were just the next batch of traveling people to get to the colony we set up. The colony's great. Oh, I don't know.
But I can just see it like something's going to happen that they're stranded for real, and then you're going to see like 5 years later, and you're panned down from the stars to the planet, and you're going to have a house with a little smoke coming out of the chimney, and the kid runs out, and Judy and I don't know. I can see something like that happening, where it's like they didn't get where they were going, or they were really going to, but they're happy enough. They're together. They're all alive. You know, the robot's chopping wood or some shit. Don't know. I can just see that kind of ending as a.
But the real story, that's the thing. The real story is with the other ship. That's the entire season 3 point.
Yep.
You know, maybe did they find the aliens first? Are they the reason they know how to get to Earth and they crash? Maybe they crashed on purpose, take over the Earth.
And maybe this is a time jump of sorts as well, and they're in the future. Maybe they went back in time, so her dad's still alive on the ship. I don't know. I can see some kind of time twist for this wormhole thing. So, where is it here? One of the comments here was Tiburon says the producer heavily hinted that there's more to come in the universe after this series, which is interesting.
Because there is so much potential story to finish, but they have yet to finish telling the story element. Like, we don't know where they're going to go, and therefore we don't know where they're going to finish satisfyingly, which is confusing. Like, there's so much more story they could. But then again, like you said, do you really want 5 more seasons? Because this isn't the sort of show, unlike Stargate, say, where every season is a gentle, and more adventures. You can't just have more crash on planet, deal with it for a year. This isn't that sort of show. You'd have to change a paradigm every year with a point. They aren't just out to do. You know, Star Trek is new adventure every week. This has to have an end goal in mind. And you would not be believing 9 seasons worth of Dr. Smith getting away with murder on a by-episode basis.
Yeah.
Well, I can certainly imagine though. Maybe the kids have their own show, as in the main 3. Maybe they, because like I say, maybe because it takes longer than a year to make each one, they're gonna look older, and therefore, because if the kid gets to 18, the young one, you could say, oh, he's 20, it's fine, you know, like have him jump 5 years, and the girls aren't gonna look much different really. So maybe the next shows them as young. Maybe they then have the alien. They've got a ship and they're going to go out and do something else because they've been sent now to do a mission for the Alpha Centauri. So while their parents get back fine, they're going to have to do something else if they, like I said, want to do more. Because maybe it's all about will. Maybe it's connection to the alien, what that means. Maybe that psychic connection is needed to help the alien survive a thing or grow or, you know.
I could see that. Or be the next step in their evolution or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think, and if you want to go with this, I think it always be too contrived to go with the same simple time thingy as the movie, but I could see why that'd also be kind of cool. What if the dad ended up going back in time and the aliens are actually humans? They're the descendants of the original crew that went on a planet, evolved, and now are sentient robots that colonize the rest of space. But because they went somewhere unknown, they didn't know how to get back. And so they're actually just... And so that ship is the, you know, what's left of it. I don't know why it'd be left, but what if they're actually just people? As in, like, descendants, like future humans. What do you think?
Don't like it.
Okay.
Don't like it
Fair
at
enough.
all. I mean, maybe as human constructs that killed all their human overseers and are now their own thing.
That sounds familiar. Is one of them played by Trisha Helfer again?
Probably not.
Oh,
Shep
it'd be great
says
if it
they're
was.
gonna head back to Earth through a wormhole, and boom, they go back in time, and there they are flying the ship that crashes into the Earth. So they are the Christmas star. They're the one that caused.
They caused the burn. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. That's not a great way to end the series. I wouldn't be happy with that at all.
It also, you'd have to really kind of. They really explicitly said it was the alien ship that gave them the device, so that's a lot to hide.
Yeah, and Kevin Williams says they've confirmed that filming is finished for season 3 of Lost in Space. Yes, it is. It's in post production, so later this year sometime, hopefully.
But I don't want them to rush it though, because the effects were so good, and it's such a so seamless. But guys, $30 more would really mean a lot to us, and at least 8 more likes. We know we're in post discovery. These lives aren't going to do as well. We know that, but as long as we make our baseline, that's fine. We'll keep doing them, and we've got obviously some more guests coming this year. I'll say that.
And keep in mind, this one was a supporter
requested. Yes,
one of the perks of the membership that she's joined at is to pick an episode of live each month. So this was the first one that she requested. She actually requested Firefly. I have yet to see Firefly, which means I will watch it for the next one, which will probably be the next one.
And that should be episode by episode review. It's only 10. I'd love to rewatch that and do reviews. It'd be so fun. Because there's only 10. It's like 2 weeks. We could do it in 2 weeks.
But I'm going to binge it. I'm not going to want to just watch one episode.
But why can't you just do one a day? Just do 5 lives. Do it in 2 weeks. I would do that for you, Stuart. I would do that for you guys. Can't wait and do 1 episode a day. It's still binging. It'd be so much fun. I haven't watched it back in ages. Don't take the sky from me, Stuart.
Spam the chat. Would you like to see that? Yes or no? Should the captain just binge it or do the reviews?
Basically,
binge a review.
Do you want 11 live stream reviews or 1 retrospective like we've just done today? I'm just saying. It's a lot of great content.
Retrospective. I like jumping all over the place.
Oh, me too. Me too.
The episode by episode breakdowns get a little bit much for me sometimes. It's like,
well, they'll be shorter though, because there's no other canon. They'll be more chill, because we don't need to talk about you know what I mean? There's no canon stuff to talk about. But yes, would you guys join us for Firefly, a binge Firefly review mini-series where we review them all pretty quickly, daily probably? I say binge.
Here's the question.
Weekly. Yes.
Do I watch the series first or Serenity first?
Well, it's series first because it goes in order. Although you should probably watch it in actual time order, not release order. It's very slightly different. Because they made an actual pilot. Then they weren't able to release that, so they had to make a second pilot, but it was episode 1 or episode 2, and then they released the pilot last, or something like that. It is dumb. It's dumb. But
hey, we got to vote for 1 retrospective. Thank you, John Michael Dorian.
But it's and what's great about Firefly, I have such a personal connection with the 3D models, less so than Trek obviously, but I would like to watch it again and look at it as a Lightwave show and understand it, because they were ahead of their time. It was the BSG team, but before BSG, and they were really they were right on it.
Oh. We got Alyssa Jericho, never seen Firefly. Sirius says, I could never get into Firefly, don't know why. Paul Graham says, Captain, I can lend you my Blu-ray of the series and Serenity. Paul, I have the series and Serenity on Blu-ray already. We bought it at a good price. It's been sitting upstairs. Just haven't watched it.
You were ready for this.
Speaking of, I just finished season 8 of Stargate.
Okay.
And
what do you think of the ending? Because that's their first ending.
I know, it's that's a damn shitty place to end it. Because remember I had said season 8, 9, and 10 weren't on MGM, weren't on the streaming service that we were watching it on.
Yeah.
They finally put season 8 on, so we watched season 8, even though Paul lent me season 8, 9, and 10. So I have them upstairs, Paul's versions. So we watched it on the streaming service, and that cliffhanger with the back in time thing, and then that came, and I'm like, okay, next one. Season 9 isn't on here yet.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's not really a cliffhanger. It's not. It's an end of that was an end point. It's not a cliffhanger.
Well, it is because
no, it's not. Season 9
Daniel
starts
Jackson.
fresh.
I understand that, but Daniel Jackson and her are not part of SG-1, and it's like, what the fuck?
What do you mean they're not part of SG-1?
They're geeky, nerdy, non-military people that now that they've discovered the Stargate, Hammond's like, thank you for your help, piss off.
Well, watch the last episode of season 8 then.
That's what I just watched.
No, they finished that storyline. That's a two-parter.
No, they don't.
Stuart,
No, they don't.
Stuart, I watched it live. It is. Believe me.
I watched it just now. It was part 1, and that's it.
Exodus Part 2, end of season... Stuart, seriously. Let me find it right now. Season 8.
Find it all you want. It isn't on MGM as
okay, there's
season.
Mobius Part 1, Mobius Part 2. Done. I'll send you if you want. Or it should be on the hard drive I gave you.
I got the disc upstairs.
Well, go watch Part 2 then, it's brilliant. I love those two-parter. It's not a cliffhanger. Go watch it now.
It is. That's where it ended.
Yes, but there's one more episode.
Anyway, you got Super Chat.
I'm right, because I'm looking at it. Go watch it tonight. Tell me what you think.
Well, then you tell MGM that their streaming service is wrong, because that's the last one that they have for season 8.
Okay, we'll go watch the end of season 8 tonight.
Car Shep, $5. My top 5 on the interweb TV in the last bit: Lost in Space, The Expanse, The Boys, The Man in the High Castle, and American Gods.
Yes.
Lost in Space, seen. The Expanse, started watching. The Boys, almost through the last season. Man in the High Castle, I've watched all that, and American Gods, haven't watched any of it. So, Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2. As long as each woman has 3 kids by 3 men, LOL. And there's a lot of foot washing going on. Yes.
Ah, yes.
Squadron Course, $2. Yes, Firefly deserves 1 per day. I don't want to do it that way. I'm sorry. We'll see. I'm just going to fucking binge watch it one night and you'll be screwed. There you go. Mark Lawrence, $5. I request a live review of Spaceballs. You can't do a live review. A live watch along with Samuel watching for the first time if he still hasn't seen it.
Yeah, I've got the Blu-ray over there. I haven't got around to it. I mean, to be fair though, Stuart said I'll watch Firefly for as long as I've said I'll watch Spaceballs, so sometimes things just happen, you know?
True.
Just saying.
But an hour and a half out of your day as opposed to a series. Not a band account, $5. The real explorer we should honor is Colonel Sean Jeffrey Christopher, the first man to reach Saturn. His airman father must be proud. Yep.
I don't understand the context of this, but okay.
TOS. Tomorrow is...
Oh, yes.
The way to go back in time and get the guy, and he makes no contribution. Oh, I didn't take into account that he might have had kids.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was brought up, but thank you, not a band account.
Yeah.
So in retrospect, really enjoyed Lost in Space. Looking forward to season 3.
So $12 more.
Hopefully it's
$12 more dollars and 6 more likes. Sorry, 12 more 6.
Yes. Yes. Hopefully season 3 is not a letdown and it ends on a good note. So.
Well, the fact that we don't know where it's going and couldn't even guess means it'll be hard to be let down more. Really? Okay. Or wow,
yeah.
Cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be.
Exactly.
It's not gonna be middle. They don't do the middle. You know.
Just hope it's better. Ends better than the movie. We can hope for that at least.
Yeah.
And no giant spider people weirdness. Could you imagine?
Well, I mean,
imagine if this Dr. Smith
maybe
became half spider. Like, I already despise her enough.
I mean, you know, if I don't know. See, if we're going to do a review of Serenity, I should probably buy the 4K then, so I get to watch it in full quality.
Matt Boardman, I just finished watching the series this past week. Lost in Space, Matt?
No, Stargate.
Oh.
He just finished, went on to Atlantis.
Ring of Time, good novel, covering that. Episode is only 14 episodes, no season 2, an easy watch. Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2. I hit my goal of 125. Now hit Samuel's. Yes.
3 more.
Another $12 in super chats would be great. We do have a super chat slot, which is now held by Fleet Paw Swiftback. So if you guys want to do dollar for dollar snipe, that'd be awesome. If not, that's cool too. Same. This has been a nice little off the wall discussion, and if you haven't seen Lost in Space, you're missing out.
And sorry, we spoiled every single thing.
No, we didn't. We didn't cover everything.
Well, I mean, all the big things. I mean, you know what I mean.
Still, the journey getting there is interesting. So.
Sure. Yeah, it's a surprisingly good show. People are so associate reboots with, I'm not gonna say a lack of quality, but some level of why. But this show is so different. The thing is, this show didn't need to be called Lost in Space. That's the thing. Like I say to you about Star Trek all the time, it has a good story in the Trek universe. This is a good story, which they may have been told to make called Lost in Space to get more views, maybe, or just use the baseline of the family as a core concept to kind of revolve around. Because it could easily not be Lost in Space, you know. But by the same token, you kind of gravitate towards it more. It's a special one. It's like BSG. It's a special kind of reboot, you know. It did it right. And the fact the ship even looks like the ship in the second one, sort of. It's close. It's close.
Yeah, it's a nice design. I like the Jupiter. I think it's interesting look for sure.
And it's so natural.
And the Resolute is great with the way they all dock together.
Yeah. Although that one is very much just generic sci-fi spinny detailed.
Yeah, 2001. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know it makes sense as a concept because that's why they keep doing it, but those aren't interesting designs. You know, they're greebly filled spinning tubes with rings.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fine, but you're not going to win design awards.
Yeah. Unless Jericho is right, I probably wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't called Lost in Space. I almost didn't watch it because it was called Lost in Space. But I'm glad I finally did throw in the first episode because the first couple minutes had me hooked. It's like I got to watch at least the next episode.
Yeah.
There was a lull, I think, in season 1 and season 2 where in the middle I was kind of like.
But it does grab you with.
My phone is here.
But it grabs you with a reveal.
Yeah, so paying attention.
You know, once you know there's an engine on the Resolute, and once they kind of build. But yeah, there's definitely the middles aren't as good, but the setups are always good, and the endings are always exceptional.
Squadron course, $2. The first last is mine.
Ooh.
Snipe me now.
Damn. Is there rifles out? But Stuart, though, if we are doing TNG tomorrow, what TNG are we doing? Because we haven't got a choice. There is a specific TNG on the list because it's the next one.
Take a look.
We
are doing the Nth Degree. That's right, with Barclay.
Broccoli, the smartest broccoli in the universe.
Yeah.
That'll
be a good one. That'll be a good one.
Very different again. Nice.
I just watched that one not that long ago. It's a few months ago, so.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're not going to get a snipey war. Oh. Yeah, we did.
Maybe they were just loading up their rifles.
Yeah. No, we didn't. I thought we did for a second. I had to close the window for a second, and then I opened it up, and I saw a lot of color, and I'm like, yay! And I was like, no.
Yeah.
That's okay. So anyway, thank you, Olivia, for suggesting this. We will do Firefly at some point. Whether we do it, I don't know how we're going to do it.
You know what, Stuart? You know what? Do it as that new community poll, because you got loads of people last time.
That's a good idea.
Because
we're actually using the community tab now in YouTube because I know it's a thing now.
Yeah, Firefly. Do you want one review or episode reviews? Because we'll get at least 1,000 people saying, and that's a good way of voting with your wallet, you know, or voting with your. Because those are good shows to watch, and I'd love to. Because obviously I know where it goes. It'd be nice to pick your brain of where you think it's going, and then I know where the movie's going, and then see your. Because part of obviously shows, like we talked about Lost in Space, this doesn't feel episodic to you. You've lost it. It just is one big story. Firefly is so distinct in its episodes that when we get to the movie, it's nice to have built into the movie the journey of the characters. Whereas if it's just one big blur, you won't while you love them as people, you won't necessarily, you know what I mean? Even if we do it all as whatever, I don't know. It's a special show, you know, and there's only so many episodes. It's a very quick thing to do.
Wow. We got a sniper war going on again. Matt Boardman, $2. Snipe. Billy Julius, $2. Snipe. Paul Graham, $1. With a smaller gun. And Fleet Pot Swiftback, $2. Snipe, snipety, snipe, snipe. Which we're $4 away now.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh.
$4. Whoa, oh, Matt Boardman, $2. Snipe, snipe.
He did one more snipe. He's trying to really.
$2 more. Could do it. Could do it. Kinetic Canvas. That's a great name. Wow. Love Lost in Space.
As you should. And
Olivia Julius, $2. Snipey Snipe Severus Snipe. That's good.
Dumbledore. And hopefully they'll release season 2 on Blu-ray as well, so I can get the. Because I don't. The things about Netflix is great and all that, but give us Blu-rays as well, so I can A, have it better quality, and B, special features.
I love physical media.
I never used to, and then it's like people say, "Well, Netflix is all available." It is. So how do you?
Until it's not.
Well, that, but also, Stuart, how do you watch the director's commentary on Netflix? You don't, and you know, like. Like that stuff's lost, and I
sometimes it says extras. You go in there as a trailer. That's it. It's like I love the behind the scenes making those.
I mean, and it's so variable. Like most of the time, it's okay to good, but you know, it's just not there if you want the full experience, especially with 4Ks, etc. And then now, like Blu-rays are actually going out of print. You know, older ones. I'm actually gonna get a Blu-ray that stopped being print ages ago, and it's 2 special feature version. It's like. Yes, you could get the DVD. That's fine. Yes, you could see it on maybe a streaming service, but you're not going to get everything else. That's why I'm actually going to have quite a proud Blu-ray shelf.
And Fleetpot Swiftback, $2. Break out the 50 BMG snipe. Listen, Jericho says you change the audio setting. That's how you listen to the director's commentary. Maybe for a movie here and there, maybe, but I don't think that's available for everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've never heard of that, and I've been. The fact that I assume you haven't either, then.
I have not.
Listening to directors' commentaries on Netflix.
No, so. Yeah, hit the one little super chat goal we had, and 132 likes, guys. If you haven't hit like yet, hit that like button, and thank you.
Oh no, Ryan K. Oh no, Ryan. No, Ryan, no.
Oh no, he's Ryan. Oh. We didn't know him that long.
You'll make it. You'll make it, and you'll come listen to the next episode. It's fine. It's fine.
You'll be fine. Olivia Julius, $2. Puggy treats for the puggy.
It's a puggy snipe.
If all the members of the Robinson family can survive through 2 seasons of the shit they were put through, you can survive being sniped in our sniping wars here. You'll be fine. Whatever happened to her broken leg, by the way? First episode, and then it's fine. I guess.
No, she limps for a bit.
She limps with a little bit of a cast, the 3D printed cast on.
Yeah, there you go.
But really,
I think they say she's on like massive painkillers so she can walk on it. I think that's a big
some kind of mending technology going on as well.
But I think it's mostly the painkillers. I think that's a whole part of it.
And I liked, I think so. I like their inclusion of the 3D printer, by the way, too. Where everything they 3D print is marked, like very small, so you can see who printed what.
And then they print a gun. Safety protocols. They can print a gun. Very clever.
Tiburon, $5. Say hello to my little friend. He came in and kicked everybody's ass.
Yes, Brian, that's how I would tell Stuart to do it. Firefly, in actual correct order, not release order. That's part of why it got cancelled.
I thought release order was important.
Not if they release it out of order, because they don't care.
Oh, well, yeah, they did that with TOS too.
Yeah.
Mantrap shouldn't have been first.
No, I think the Blu-ray has the correct order, but it's not hard to work out the order. Like there's no great mystery. There's a correct order and then the release order, but the release order has never been released ever again in that way. So it's you know.
Yeah.
I really like the pilot though. I really like the first like double bill. It's very clever. And the fact they can make the third episode, the second pilot, to give you all the same information in half the time with a full story. It's quite clever, but it also doesn't feel like a redundant story, even though they're telling the same story. It's well done, Joss Whedon. You know, I mean, he's obviously a good creator. He made lots of good shows, obviously, but you know.
Feedpot Swift back $2. Now it's time for the big Snipes, Wesley Snipes.
Oh, I miss him in Blade. That's not what he was going for, but he was good in Blade. He should be in the new Blade as like Blade's dad. Easy.
Look what I found.
Here's a doggy.
It's Adobe.
Dolby Atmos.
Not Adobe, but Dobby.
Oh yeah.
She's a house elf.
Does look a little like Dolby, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I gotta give her a sock, but I don't want her to leave. She's mine. Yeah, right.
Oh dear. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for Olivia for having a good topic. Thanks guys for helping us get to our basic super chat thing. Awesome stuff. Awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of the night, everyone.
Bye. As far as I know, it's going to be reviewed tomorrow, but we'll see. Bye, guys.
Good night, everyone.